Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Raheem Kashon was born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, to a singer with a nimble voice and a preacher with a gift for ministry. Like both of his parents, he too possessed the ability to use his voice to tap into spiritual energy. It's his strongest belief that the ministerial and musical qualities passed on to him help him guide him through the quest to find his truest expression. He says the voice is the tool of God. It exists in a place where it can represent anything to anyone. And he joins us tonight. Please help me welcome Raheem Kashon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
I definitely appreciate it. I mean, such a talented brother. Tell everyone how you kind of got your start.
Well, it started when I was in school in Ghana. I studied abroad in Ghana in 2005 and 2006. So I was there a little over a year. And prior to that, I had studied music for 2 years, but it was classical and it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So I switched it to history. Switched my major to history at North Carolina A&T. And so I had an opportunity to go study history in Ghana. And it was there that, like going into the countryside and hearing the people sing the songs that they were singing and having, connections with the songs and dances and just like seeing how powerful music was just to, people in the countryside. Like these weren't people who were doing it for a profession or for money. But just seeing how it brought people together, the connections that it created, and just the power that it had in everyday life. Like I was like, and there was one singer in particular, one guy who he was like a traditionalist. He really had a really powerful gift for music, and I just remember wanting to make people feel like he made me feel. So it was when I left there that I actually started to sing out in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is where A&T is. So I just kind of started to sing out at open mics and stuff like that, and kind of discover my voice. So that's where it got to start.
Okay, dope. So who would you say you are as an artist?
I am definitely a healer, and like I said, minister of sorts. I am here to help people and to invite people to deal with things that they may not always want to deal with. And then to invite people to deal with things that they want to. A part of healing can be, healing is holistic, and it can be anything. And so it can be dealing with past hurts or trauma or, experiences that we've had in our lives. Or it can be healing from feeling like that you feel or look awkward when you dance. And so just inviting people to be free and really do what their body invites them to do. So, and that's the fun part of healing,
Absolutely.
So it's not necessarily just about dealing with heavy stuff or, stuff that don't nobody want to talk about. And so, I'm definitely a healer and a minister, and I'm here to invite people to those spaces of healing.
Absolutely. Well, obviously your parents were musical influences to you. Who else inspired you, kind of coming up and as you started on your path to be a musician?
Musically, I was really, really into Roy Hargrove growing up. I was definitely into D'Angelo, Bilal, Kim Burrell, of course, Brandy, Concha Buica. So I think that if I had to really pull from people that really just help me to bring my voice out and kind of understand my style, I'll probably say Liz Wright and D'Angelo. Because I listening to D'Angelo, I think he allowed me to explore my own harmonic sensibilities. His harmonic sensibilities are very similar to mine.
Okay.
And it's funny because he's a preacher's kid too. So he grew up, similar to me. So listening to him, especially the Voodoo album, it was I really dug a lot that he was doing vocally and harmonically. So I wouldn't say that I pattern, but I find a lot of times that it goes in that direction.
Absolutely, and shout out to D'Angelo. He's from my home city, Richmond, Virginia. So it's good.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about your
804 in the building.
804, yes, sir. Well, let's talk about your single "Free." What does that mean? What was the inspiration behind this single?
Again, it was just an echo of the mission, and the mission is to create spaces of healing for people. And free, just like it says, is like I want you to be free, and whatever that means. We all have our own boxes, so to speak.
Right.
And I don't. I'm not one of these people who gets real romantic with what freedom means, because your freedom can mean somebody else's bondage. I mean, just being real, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the reality.
Uh-huh.
But, but I feel like that there is a way that we can exist that can mean, and I guess can put us in spaces where we try to find freedom for the the greater group, the greater good. And so I think that free is about that. It's about finding what your path is. And I feel like that whenever we're walking our path, then we cause less casualties than when we're out here trying to chase dreams and chase things that this culture and society may have socialized us that we need in order to feel complete, or in order to feel like we're actually thriving in life. And so I feel like that when people are on their path, I feel like that they are more likely and to also offer that healing to other people. So that's what free is about. Is just encouraging people to find that path, and as hard as it may be, because it's difficult. It's not an easy thing to walk your path sometimes, but as hard as it may be to walk that path of freedom.
That's true. That's true. So what would you tell us about the Raheem Kashon movement? What's the movement about?
The Raheem Kashon movement is about it's dedicated to the freedom, man. We keep going back to that to the path. It's dedicated to really inviting people to back up from the noise of life. And to get to a place where you can actually hear spirit, whatever you call it, whatever you worship or whatever you pray to, or whatever, and you can hear what it is that you are supposed to be doing in life, and then go after that. Because we've all been blessed with different talents and gifts, but there is one or two that is actually on our path. That's the path that we're supposed to be walking, and that doesn't mean that we abandon the other gifts, but that we focus the energy in that direction. And so the Raheem Kashon movement is about about focusing on that part of life, and focusing on the path. What is the path? What is your path? And let's find a way to support each other. It's a community effort, actually, and it's definitely about that communal sensibility of helping each other and supporting each other through our life paths and our life walks. Because, again, although it can sound pretty and it can sound beautiful, and a lot of people have written songs and poetry and books about it, and the law of attraction is a really hot concept right now, and all of these, beautiful concepts, but it's hard a lot of times,
It is.
and it's not pretty, and it's not cute. And so the Raheem Kashon movement is about creating community in that way, and creating a space where people can come and hear something that can inspire them to continue to go, and continue to drudge on and tread that path a little bit further, and give them a little energy to do it, and they can dance and sing along and hear some good harmony and good beats while they're doing it. So that's what the Raheem Kashon movement is about.
I think this movement is right on time, especially in the state of our nation. We have a new president, and a lot of people are anxious about that, and scared, and they don't know what to what to think about what's going on in our country. So what advice would you give? You had the Kashon movement going on. What advice would you give to people in our country who are just on edge because they're kind of concerned about the president we have?
I would advise people, again, to back up from the noise. I think that what happens is that this culture and this society pumps billions of dollars into plugging us into that vibration and plugging us into the truth that it wants to set forth. You know what I'm saying? And when people back up and when people become clearer about who's the creator of their life, who's the creator of their reality, who's the creator of their vibration, which is them. That God has given us all this, massive and just unimaginable energy and power to create. And there are things that have been set up in this culture strategically to take that power away from us and to create a reality for us that we energize. And so I think that I would suggest that people unplug and that people be clear about what you want to see and do that. It ain't got to be a movement. People ain't got to go march. People ain't got to, and I'm not knocking that, and much love and much respect to the people who do that, because that is necessary work. It's beautiful work, and I have a lot of friends and family in the front line who do that work and who I admire and love dearly, and I love that work. But it doesn't have to be that. Individually, we have the power to create vibrations and to create realities, and that's what I would suggest for people. But I mean, keep going, keep doing what you're doing, keep living, keep and keep the vibration high, because one vibration, it's like if you bring two people into a setting, somebody's vibration is going to tune to the other one. And oftentimes the person who's more centered and grounded in their vibration will be grounded, and that other person will tune into that other person's energy. And so we have to be grounded in our energy as light beings, as lovers, as healers, as artists, as creatives, as whatever it is that we are. And if it's good energy and we feel like it's life-bringing energy, be grounded in that and send that out into the universe and send it out into the world, and it'll come back. And and I see it every day. I work with children every day, and I see the ability to create safe spaces and to create beautiful realities. And so, that's what I would suggest to people.
All right. Definitely appreciate that. So I know you're working on a new album. What can you tell us about it?
You said, can I tell you about it?
What can you tell us about it?
Okay, what can I tell you about it? So this album that I'm working on, which I don't know if I'm going to release the name. I mean, maybe I should, but we'll let that be in the back right now for this moment.
Okay.
But so this album is it's a little bit more rhythmic than what I have released in the past. And it's more centered, just like I was saying, it's more grounded in the mission. Free. We have the permission, which is just basically inviting you to give yourself permission to be who you are, whatever that is. We have, a couple of other songs that are just really echoing and ringing true to the mission, and it's really aligned with the Raheem Kashon movement. So we're going to give y'all a lot more like rhythm. I'm speaking some Tree, Ashanti Tree. I speak Ashanti fluently, so I'm speaking some Tree on this album, which I've not done before, which should be interesting. Yeah. So and I got some proverbs, some like proverbial like English stuff going on. So I'm just like really like being true to who I am. Like all of that stuff is just really who I am. I'm a word lover, wordsmith, word person. And so I'm like really giving a lot more lyrics, again, that ring true to the Raheem Kashon movement on this project and this album. So I'm excited. I'm excited for people to hear what I feel like is the most aligned with who I am as a person and as a being, piece of music and art that I've created to date. So I'm excited about it.
Do you think it takes time as you become more seasoned in your career or more experienced to actually get that project where you feel, like this represents who I am as a person? Do you think it takes, that development to get to that point?
Absolutely, man. I think that it takes being surrounded by good people and people who have your best interests at heart and people who understand how to continue to help you maintain a space where you can create.
Right.
And like I run, you get the opportunity to be blessed to run into people like I've been blessed to run into Calvin of Nivlac Productions, Calvin Bushpain. I know you know him. And Calvin holds space for me, and he helps me to bring to fruition the things that I want to and need to, and some things that I don't even know I need to or want to do. Like he's good at suggesting, and so a lot of his suggestions and the things that he's like helped me to see has helped me to bring out songs or bring out lyrics or and just be more true to who I am and more aligned with what it is that I want to do and want to say and who I want to be creatively and as an artist. And so I think that it does take time because some people have a huge machine behind them that is creating an image and putting clothes on them and putting makeup and things in their hand and whatever props and all that stuff, but they're not really being who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so I do think that it takes a while, even for those artists who have a huge machine behind them and hundreds of thousands of dollars, to get to a space where they feel like this is who I am. Like I was doing that and it was nice, it was fun, but this is who I am. So I think that it takes it just takes going through that process that I was talking about, where you align yourself with your path and your mission, and then you begin to imbue your creativity with what that is, with what you found that to be.
Right. Well, you mentioned Calvin and his team. How important is it to have, just a strong, especially as an independent artist, to have that team behind you, that machine behind you, at whatever level it is? How important it is for an independent artist?
Man, I can't stress how important it is. Again, because there's just things that I'm shielded from, that I'm exposed to, that I am protected from, that Calvin will suggest to me, that are for the betterment of me, and then how it relates to me being an artist, that I don't think about. As creative people, we tend to be super, what's engulfed in our creativity. We just want to create. Like, I just want to go to the studio. I just want to sing good. I want to sing nice, and I want to share my gift with people, and I want to go out, and I want to help people have experiences, and I want to have fun with people. But there are all of these other things that need to be in place in order to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Specifically in the musical climate that we exist in today. And so it is of the utmost importance, man, to have people who, first of all, believe in you. That's what it's about.
Exactly.
And
that's
people
huge.
who understand who you are. Because, truth be told, we all have areas of strength and needed growth. And people who can come in and understand your areas of needed growth and not take them personally, and not, miscontextualize them and feel like that you being disrespectful or blah, blah, blah. Or, and even if people who can communicate with you and say that to you and feel comfortable coming to you and hashing out and having hard conversations, is just of the utmost importance because again, my job as a creator and as a creative and as a healer is to create and it's to stay in that path energy, it's to stay in that energy and to bring out pieces of art from that place that people can then have and use however they want to use it. And so I don't need to be bogged down with details because that takes away from me being able to get into that space a lot of times. And so just having somebody who understands and who supports you, again, like I said, who believes in you is of the utmost importance. And I'm glad that I found that in Calvin. I feel like he really does believe in who I am, and I appreciate that. And I feel like that he understands, like when I'm being Raheem, how to, nudge me in a way that makes me be like, okay. And I feel like that's of the utmost importance.
And I can imagine the trust has to be there, too, so that you all can have those difficult conversations, and that if he's bringing you feedback, you know it's coming from a place of, like, sincerity and not just, you know, someone just telling you whatever. Would you say trust is important as well?
Oh, man, absolutely. And I guess I felt like that went without saying, but I do feel like trust is of the utmost importance.
Right.
And I feel like that once I feel like that you believe in me, then you have my trust. And I guess that's how I am. So I felt like it went without saying. But, yeah, you're right. Forgive me. Trust is of the utmost importance because it's like because there's certain conversations that I'm not having with people that I have to trust that he's having on my behalf and that he has my best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? And I don't for 2 seconds doubt that that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think that is definitely of the utmost importance. Because for me, if I have any doubt that you have my best interest at heart, then I just won't rock with you. That's the type of person I am. Like, I'll still be nice and I'll still be cordial, but I'm not going, you know, you're not going to be having conversations with nobody on my behalf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
I get it. I get it.
It's of the utmost importance. Yeah.
So we know you got the new album coming out. What else is coming down the pipeline for you?
So I just now, we just now got a call from someone in Texas about the Austin City Limits Festival, which is a huge festival. I hear that like Outkast was there last year, and there's some big names that are going to be there this year. And on the 12th of February, I will be like headlining at the Rhythms and Groove R&B Music Showcase here in Atlanta.
Nice.
And then on the 25th of February, I will be auditioning for The Voice.
Okay.
So yeah, man, you know, facing a lot of stuff. So those are the three major things that we have. Of course, the album will be coming sometime in the spring, probably like late spring. So we definitely have the album. We'll be releasing free. I'll be doing a single release for free. And we got a couple of like shows like Raheem Kashon movement shows coming up that are going to be, infused with the Raheem Kashon, imagery, art, culture, again, language, prose, all of these things that I am. So I'm excited about like really sharing from a more vulnerable place with people who come to support and who love my art, who I am in those shows that we'll be doing. So the website will be up soon in March, the RaheemKashon.com. So we got a lot of, like exciting things we're on the precipice of in the Raheem Kashon camp. Yeah, man.
Definitely sounds like it. Well, tell everyone I know you're working on the website. Where can they follow you on social media, Facebook, Twitter, wherever? Where can they follow you?
So Raheem Kashon, basically anywhere. If you Google me, Raheem Kashon on Facebook, Raheem Kashon on Instagram, on Twitter, it's Raheem's Voice. And so that's mainly why Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is mainly where I do most of my posting and where people can find information about what I'm doing and where I am.
Listen, Raheem, I appreciate you, man, for coming on the show tonight, and I wish you much success with the album, with the auditions, with the shows, with the single release, with everything you have going on. I wish you all the best. Definitely wish you all the best.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right. And for more information
thank you for having me on, man.
Oh, no doubt. Anytime. You have to come back. For more information about Raheem Kashon, please go to our website, thestephennightshow.com, and we'll be right back.